Siddhartha and the lion together. You can't find it. Um, for some reason, that literature of Buddha and the lion have been, I don't know, you can't find them. And there are. I read it when I was in India, and I can't find it now. But that's a big piece of Buddha, because I think the trick here is the lion. The lion are from Africa. The lions aren't from Asia. Essentially, they were brought there by Africans, but essentially they are in deep Kenya, a little past Ethiopia. But if the way I see it, if the history is based on his real life story, then I don't know how they escaped the tiger, because the tiger is much more ferocious, and it's much bigger. Well, it's not much bigger, but it's a little bit bigger than the lion. And I don't see why they wouldn't be saying Buddha and the tiger, but they say Buddha and the lion. And even in Hindu, I think in Sanskrit, it's Simha, Simha, which is lion, Simha. But in the African tongue, or one of the African tongues, I'm not sure which one it is now, but they recognize the word Simba. Maybe it's Kenya, but the word Simba is the name of a lion. Also, is the name for lion. Also, Simba, Simba. So you have the ha and the ba, which are essentially the same pronunciations. Again, that's etymology. Well, that's what I learned. But that to me is the trick about Buddha and Siddhartha Gautama, that he's not really a Hindu, but he's really an Ethiopian. But it's known that Ethiopia and India had a strong relationship even 7,000 years ago with Krishna. One of Krishna's cousins married a Hindu prince. I mean, an Ethiopian prince, or something like that, or vice versa. But there was some kind of blood marriage, or some kind of marriage which brought about, I'm sure, children. So it makes it a blood marriage or blood line relation. So I think there's really more truth to these. It's not just a cross of a man of Jesus Christ who died on it at all. Actually, it's probably more of a map of some kind, showing it's in decoration, or I mean in commemoration of the disc that we live on. So now the proof about Haile Selassie being still alive, it was a picture I came across when I was in the place that I was working, and it blew my mind. It's 4 priests, and here it is right here. Let me just take this off for a moment. Yep, there they are hunting. So here's the first 2 that I saw. These are African priests of Ethiopia. You see the cross? See that? See the theme in the middle? So anyway, the proof I got, are you going to be seeing it through a video of another video, but that's all I got, and that's the best I can do, and it's going to help someone who needs that little bit of push. So this picture was in, this is one of 2 of the pictures that I found in the African Decor book. And again, that book was about African adornment, jewelry, traditional, ancient, and new, and all that. It was all that, and they just happened to have these priests in it of Ethiopia, and it was in the Ethiopian section also. So whoever has this book, it's vital, because it shows Haile Selassie still alive. So anyway, this is the first 2 priests, and now this is the second 2, the other 2 priests. Let me get it in a second. Now this is the other 2 priests. Now, automatically, if you like me have looked at a gazillion pictures of Haile Selassie, and you could recognize him on point more or less, but to those who can't recognize him, he's on your right hand side, and I'll zoom it up for you the best I can, and I'm going to give you evidence the best I can to show you that he is still alive and well. Now this picture I took back in 2011. Wait a minute, damn it, these things are funny. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna enlarge the picture so you can see. That is him. Him. You hear that, right? Fire. Yeah, that's him. I promise you. And mind you, before I get into that, I'm actually an artist. Not to say I'm a teacher or I got any educational background to prove it. But I'm an artist, so I tend to look at detail very well. And I'll give you a little example. Hold on, right here that I can draw. And again, I'm not showing you this for any other reason other than this is my eye. This is how I see things. And I can draw. Those are my drawings, even though I copied from something else. Those are big drawings, and I understand detail in my own way very well. I understand depth and how shadows should fall and all that. These are older drawings that I used to have from a long time ago. But I'm just showing you that, I'm not talking out of my ass. I understand detail. Here Wolverine. I was obsessed with all this white man stuff, but kind of left it alone now. It's not really real. It disturbs, but these stories tell the truth about us also. So it's important to kind of pay attention to them to a degree, but not totally, because there's definitely deception there. And they don't want you to know. That's all I could say. They don't want us to know. I figured out some of it, and I'm trying to share it if I can. So here's one of the pictures I found on the internet to compare of Haile Selassie, that this is Haile Selassie. And if you pay attention, he's got the same shape. There's shadows that fall the exact same way. And I'm going to point them out to you, how to look at it and understand the detail. And how I'm able to draw things exact in my own way. I could draw portraits, or I could draw, scribble the way I want to. But so here it is, right? Hold on a second. Let me just put this on. Sorry, everybody. I know it's amateur night, but whatever. Take it for what it is. All right, so if you look, this is how I'm able to draw and connect the dots and make things look exact as much as possible. And if I were to draw this, I look at detail. So if you see here, he's got a dimple right here. See that? Now that was one of the things I started paying attention to at first. And then this line right here. And this line. It's very clever. That's not just a line there that you're looking at. Even though you can't see detail very well, that's actually his vein that's creating that shadow. And then you see there's light that goes up this way. That's his vein, and actually it gets lighter there, but you can't see it in the video. But I assure you that that's his vein that's creating that shadow right there. I'm going to show you that vein is exactly the same thing right here. You see that vein? It's creating the exact same thing right here. And it goes back. It actually goes back, but his head is at a different angle here. It's the same man we're looking at. Rastafari, Selassie. So even his indent, his eye where it goes in right here, is actually very similar to here, but I can't prove that totally. Now, I was looking for more proof. If you look at the shape of how his mouth muscle crease is, and notice he's a little fatter here. He was conditioned. Remember, he was living in a castle, practically, and he had maids and servants, and he had always food, because he's the 225th representation of Jesus Christ, is what he is. And so also he was lighter skinned. See, he's darker here. It's because he's living out among the elements, and here is when he was pampered. So he got lightness and darkness in the Illuminati, their symbolism thing there. Oh, Wicked Man song here. Hear this? See that? That's the spirit playing the song perfectly. See that? Okay, enough of that. I'm not here to play music. It's just what's playing in the background randomly. Alright, so if you look at these details, this is what I look at. Now you see this little mold right here? That mold is actually right there too, and if I could zoom out of it, maybe you could see a little shadow, but I'm not making that up. There's a little mold there, and I'll get real close as I can, and that's an indent, but it's not an indent, it's his shadow. Or it's not, I mean, it's not a shadow, that's his mold. It picked up something, and that's the same mold you're looking at right here, and it's in other pictures too. I'm going to show you. And if, again, his nose angle, if you look at this crease right here and right here, it's exactly the same right here and right here. And obviously you can see the nose. That's Selassie's nose. Look, I'll even show you the other men have different noses than he does, no matter even if you think them look like each other. So you see his nose? His nose is totally different than Selassie's nose. Selassie's points down, this arches back, and he's got this is more of a dimple right here, whereas this man is more of a pudgy nose. Well, no, I don't want to say pudgy. It looks like the shadow makes it look like his top part is coming out more. It's a different nose no matter what, and even his angle of his mouth crease is different from this. See that? It's different from this one or the other one. Anyway, so I'm just showing you that they're two different pictures. But even the other men, I'll show you. The other men, well, they're not here right now. I'm not gonna look for it. You can go back in the video and look at it. But that is Selassie, who still lives, and there are West Indian from midnight to there's a group with midnight who the reggae group who says Selassie still lives, and it's not just a song. He's saying that he's really alive. And this is this picture on the left hand side is a modern picture. The picture, my impression was that the book that I got it out of was from at least maybe I would say the mid 80s, late 80s, could have been early 90s. Actually, probably more than, I would think the 90s. That's when those books seem to be more popular. Well, you know what do I know? I don't know nothing about books in that sense. I just got the impression maybe late 80s, early 90s that this book was published, that it wasn't old at all. So again, that's one of the proofs. I'm going to show you another picture. I'm going to show you several, if you could bear it. So here's another picture. If you look, he's got that dimple again. I mean, he's got that birthmark right there again. You see that? See that? And it's there. It's still here. Right there, you see? Right here, I could point it with the other. It's right there. You see that? Right there. So at the same time, if you look at Selassie's ears, well, this one's something cut off his ear, but his ears are the same angles. Look at the angle. Look at the angle of his head. And I didn't alter these pictures in any way. These are naturally taken pictures. And I mostly got, of course, my only manipulation was finding pictures that were of his left-hand side because of this picture. So if you look again, look at his crease. If you compare it to that picture, the angles are damn near exact. Look at his ear, how it curves. It does this thing and it comes out. Selassie has elf-like ears. His ears are very long and they stick out. And if you can kind of see it here, and I'll show you in another picture. Something again is cutting it off, but those are the same ears that he has here. Same ears, same thing. Just this curve and indent, and it comes out. I'm going to show you.